Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, a brand new day. And oh boy. So first, I'll talk about how with the weather and plague rat report. It was late again, my going out walking, and yet not too late. I'm not going early because it's getting darker and I'm tireder, and so I keep pushing it later and later. But I went around, I can't remember, 6, 7, 8 last night, something around in there. But I went walkies, it was dark and it was good. It wasn't raining, it's not raining now. And for the plague rat report, at least I saw people wearing masks, you know. That's a good thing. I was going to walk up to Walmart, but my body went on autopilot again. And by the time I realized what I was doing, it was like, well, it too big of a walk to make the change and walk up to Walmart. And so I just wandered around downtown. Thumbs up for that. Now for sleep, I ate a whole bunch of potassium tablets yesterday. And I went and took an edible before bed. I took ibuprofen tablets and I slept not too bad, but an hour after I went to bed, something happened that has me worried now. Because my chest doesn't feel all that good. And my voice feels more burrier and lower because of irritation all through here. Like I say, my chest doesn't feel good. 11 o'clock last night, I burst awake, tearing my mask off because I was like going to vomit in my sleep. And that's not good. Especially when you have on a sleep apnea mask, which is got a pipe pushing air directly down your throat into your lungs. So I sat up, bolt upright, pulled off my mask, and did my best to not freak out and swallow everything back down. And I don't know why that happened. It wasn't good. But the thing that makes me really worry about this now is it's easy, especially when you're sleeping with a sleep apnea mask on, to aspirate. Aspirating things is just getting something that's not air into your lungs. That's very, very bad. When you get anything into your lungs, it gathers growth around it. It gathers liquid around it, and when you have liquid pooling in your lungs, that starts up pneumonia. And then if it's something that's like a food particle, say from something you had eaten, and then where you were yakking back up, and then particles blown back this direction before you could wake up and down into your lungs, now you've got organic matter rotting inside of your lungs with the bacteria feeding on that in the liquid that's pooling. Oh boy. My brother-in-law accidentally aspirated some food while he was eating. He almost had a stroke. He lost 200 some odd pounds while he was in the hospital from it. Everybody thought he was going to die. When I worked in healthcare, aspiration was deadly. So, I've got to keep track quite strongly of my lungs now, which is special since we're in the middle of a lung-based pandemic that's raging out of control and using up every bed in the U.S. Oh, joy. So I gotta, like I say, keep track and just monitor how I'm feeling. If I start feeling any sick at all, I gotta head to our local hospital, and I gotta hope that things have gotten better. Because the last time I went to our local hospital, if I'd followed their advice, I would not be here now. I had cellulitis in my leg. I went to them. They diagnosed me as having swine flu, told me to take a Tamiflu, not a Tamiflu, but Tamiflu, which was the only antiviral at the time, and come back and see them in 24 hours if I hadn't gotten better. 4 hours later, I was at a hospital in Olympia, hooked up to IVs while they were fighting to save my life. That happened to my wife as well, where we took her into the ER. They told us what to do. I drove her to Olympia after that, and they saved her life, because if we had listened to what the hospital had said, she would have been gone a long time before she actually did pass. So this is not a good place for doctors. It's been a long time since I've had to go there. Practices and people can change, so hopefully they've gotten better and aren't just murdering people still. And this coughing has got me worried. I mean, I'm still smoking bud. I have a tiny bit left, and my lungs don't like that. So I've got to monitor a lot of things to try and just differentiate between cannabis cough and things going pear-shaped quite quickly because of aspiration while I was waking up from being in a dead sleep. Yay! Oh joy. Oh well, life is life. I mean, right now there's nothing I can do to change anything that has happened. Anything that happened, if anything happened while I was still sleeping. You know, so all I can do is monitor the situation, look for the danger signs that I know of, and make sure to head for help if I find that any of the danger signs are, oh yeah, I need to head out for help. So here's hoping. Past that though, because I'm not just all like nothing and stuff. Boy, that made no sense at all. What I'm trying to say is I've got more to talk about, sort of, than just that depressing thing, possibly depressing thing. So, again, sorry if it is depressing. Sorry if anyone is disturbed. Especially if I do go to the hospital. You know, I'm going to be incommunicado immediately. I still don't have a working telephone. I don't have a laptop. I mean, I'll be in bad shape if I end up in the hospital in the first place, because you can't take THC products into a hospital. They take federal money. And it's still federally illegal, even though it is legal on a state level where I am. So, thumbs up for that. Hokey smokes. The only things I really have to talk about left are just minor and silly things, because I sort of talked about this earlier. Even though I know why I'm feeling distress and despair and all that, just my normal depression and everything that's happening, it doesn't change the fact that, like I said, I know why I'm being forced to grip an electric fence. I'm still gripping the electric fence, so I'm not doing as much as I would like right now. And it's not by choice. I can't physically go out and do a lot of things because of my physical condition and the weather. And things that I want to talk about and do, just because of everything that's happening in my mental condition, it's harder to think of stuff. I do have creative thoughts still, just not as many or as intense as I normally would have. So that's a yay. So I don't have a ton of things happening in my life right now. It's still spinning out of control. I mean, I've mentioned that days pass like hours and weeks pass like days. So, I mean, January is 2/3 over. Hokey smokes. I mean, it was only yesterday I voted in the election that happened, way back in November. So, Time runs through your fingers and you never get it back. Thumbs up. God, I'm filled with depressing topics today. It must be my fears of my own mortality. I don't like being flesh. I've mentioned that, one of my own. I'm neurotypical in a lot of ways, and one of the things that I don't like and don't like being reminded of is being organic. If I could have my mind uploaded to a machine, I would do that, except there's bad things about that. And some of the things I want to talk about on that, I don't really have a lot of time because I'd forgotten about the subject, so I'll try to quickly run through it. The thing with recording your mind to upload to a machine, you know, whether you become a cyborg in a regular body or you're uploaded to something else, you know, memory banks where it's just everything is emulated. It depends on how your brain is being recorded, because if there's no issue if the recording renders the organic brain unable to function as an organic brain any longer, because then the only person that there is the one that is digital, the body being rendered unlivable by the process of the recording. But then there's also the thought of, what if you could record somebody and it didn't kill them? Then yeah, you've got a problem, because you've got your uploaded you, who is you. That's you. And then there's the meat you. And that's a problem. So what do you do? And I say that's a problem because legally it's a problem, and a whole bunch of things is a problem. You could say, well, that's not me, that's just a digital me. Well, it is you. It is a complete 100% accurate replica of you. So it is you. So now there's two of you. So in contrast to which you is it? Legally, you're both you. And then, of course, there's all sorts of moral and ethical issues that come up. So I was thinking that really the best way to take care of that, if while recording the brain it leaves the body alive and intact, then you would basically be able to get up and just say thank you. What you really need to do is you sedate the body, and you have general anesthesia, and then after you record the body, you then pump in the drugs to put it quietly, permanently to sleep and rest. And then you do with it whatever you do with leftover organic refuse. If you're uploaded, that's you. That's the you wanted to be. Legally, really, there can only be one under our current system, because in the game Soma they talk about this. The whole game is based around, there is a machine that is invented just in the very tutorial part of the game. You're the first person to get recorded, and then when the actual game starts, oh, well, the Earth has been destroyed. There are maybe 4 or 5 actual human beings left, and there's, of course, the perfect, accurate recordings of individuals. And the issue of that, of course, becomes, if you're digital, well, what happens when they turn you on? Is it unethical and immoral to turn you off? Because at one point in the game, especially, you come across that, where you've got to get information from a person, and they're recorded. Every time you mess up, you just turn them off, and then you restart them. You are literally killing them. But they're still alive because they're digital. You just run a new copy. Isn't that nice and existential? And then, of course, I read a series of science fiction books by the writer Neil Asher, where there is a spectacular artificial intelligence that if they need a whole bunch of soldiers or such, if they have a person that's been digitized that's perfect for their job, they just make copies and copies and copies and copies and punch them into bodies. There might be 500 of you just standing there, gonna go off and do something as a pack. Woof. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments to my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Good, bad, and different. You took the time. You expended the calories. Thank you very much. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, ADHD, and more, I'm sometimes amazed I can remember what my own name is, and there are times that I forget that. So we have Nicholas Weed, thank you. RELYTXZHD, thumbs up. Steve the Penguin, greatly appreciated. Insignificant Nick, thumbs up. Better Off Dying, greatly appreciated. Stephen Blanchard, well, and just as a quick one, Insignificant Nick asked me how tall I am, and I'm 5'11" and 1/2. And then there is Casadun, thumbs up. Melissa R, greatly appreciated. Colin Reisenauer, thumbs up. I Am 5 of D, thumbs up. Kapaki, greatly appreciated. There is Christopher Thomas, thumbs up. Sebastian Ferris, very good news. Ricky Bettini, thumbs up. Stabino Jablinski, thumbs up. We have Ben B, greatly appreciated. Russian Timing, always good to see you in the comments. We have Butter My Croissant, thumbs up. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. We have nobody else. That was the last person. Thank you all so very, very much. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that is a very good thing. You can hear me, and I don't know if that's just from cannabis or aspiration. Oh joy. But you get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that is appreciated to no man. Thank you. If you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out financially without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, I have an Amazon wishlist link as well, with things like cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very cool. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell and the subscription button, that would be very, very cool as well. Thank you very, very much. Holy smokes, I just hope this is cannabis wheeze. But there's not anything I'm able to cough up when I'm having a cough, so oh boy. Joy, joy, joy. And of course, the lobster hat-wearing duckhead of judgment suffers from a surplus of scorn. It is ready, not eager, but ready to cast that scorn upon any and all it finds disappointing. Its mockery is severe. Do not disappoint the lobster hat-wearing duckhead of judgment. It suffers from a surplus of scorn. And of course, Black Lives Matter. Good golly, Miss Molly. I mean, good golly, Miss Molly. And justice for everybody, the jackbooted, brown-shirted fascist thugs in police uniforms who keep beating, brutalizing, and murdering American citizens in their homes and on the streets. What joy. So yeah, I've got this video here. I need a video. I've got a video I need to record, edit, and render. I'm going to be watching my health like a hawk. I'm going to be listening to and just paying attention to how my lungs and chest feel. And if anything starts going south, I'm heading to get help. I do not need to die at this time in my life. I'm going to, decay, and all my flesh is going to slide off my bones at one point, but that point is hopefully not anytime soon relative to our lives. Thumbs up on that. So please, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, stay home unless you have to go out, and if you have to go out, please practice your social distancing. This bloody thing keeps mutating and becoming even more contagious, so take care, please. It has a surprisingly high mortality rate. It's not surprising if you've been paying attention, but if you haven't, it is surprisingly high. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Stay as creative as you can. Practice as much self-care as you can.